Shalom. Right? All praise to the Hebrew Israelites who come out here to teach our people that they're royalty. That's right. Hey, brother, come up here. I got something for you. Hey, no problem, no problem. All right, so I got a question for you, right? I know you got the king out here, right? For what? For what? What? That's all praises, man. And that's how it should be. Because a lot of our people, that's your son, right? Right? Some of us grew up without a son.
That's right.
Now I got a question for you, because that's going to lead into something. I said that for a reason, right? You believe in God? You believe in the Bible? Now, you know in the Bible, it says certain things about our people, right? You got to think, this Bible is very big, right? You can't read this book in one night. You know, you got to put on your reading. You're in the bed with your reading glasses on, right? You said, I'm going to read a good novel tonight. No, this is something that you kind of examine carefully. And when I say examine carefully, you got to read it in a certain way.
That's right.
Is that right? So give me the book of Deuteronomy Chapter 28 and verse 1. I'm going to show you something real quick, right? How much time you got on you?
I'm waiting to go on Hoover till my phone ring.
All right. So I'm going to show you something, right? You see the sign right here? Now, this Bible is nothing but a family lineage, right? So I'm going to show you something. Point out where you are on this sign. Because these are the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Yes, right here. Now, okay, all praise. So you got to kind of think of it like a play, right? You got the stage, you got the lighting, you got the sound equipment, all that. So think of it like a play, right? And you're a character in this play, right? You know how you got the auditioning roles, you kind of made the cut, right? So in that cut, you have this family, right? And in this family, they're called the Israelites, right? That's the last name, right? So you would be considered the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's right.
So you, along with the rest of the men up here, along with the men in the Bible, we all come from the same thing. We all come from the same family line, right? This is nothing but a book of your history. This is nothing but a book of my history. Right? Why do you think I could call your brother on the street? But if I call anybody else a brother, they're not gonna look at me. Right? If I call anybody else a king, they might kind of get up out of there, kind of start running. Right? But I could call you a king, and we can show each other reference. Why is that? Because that's a spiritual thing. That's something we have in our blood. Right? We carry the same blood in us. We come from the same tribe. Right? Now, with that being said, I want to show you something. Give me Deuteronomy Chapter 28.
Deuteronomy Chapter 28 and verse 1.
I'm going to show you something real distinct, because I said that this is a beautiful thing that you brought your son out. Because many of us, we grew up without a father. We know that runs through our people, right? That's a generational curse. When you say, and that's a good, is that a good or bad? It's bad to grow up without your father, right? Now that's something that happens to the people that's on this sign, which you are a part of, right? You probably knew some people you grew up with, and you went to their house and they daddy wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? See that? So I'm going to show you something.
And it reads, and it shall come to pass,
right?
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
No, what the Bible is saying, because I know sometimes the word's kind of big. It's kind of like it says heretofore and thither and thou doest, and what does that mean? But you got to read it like as if, you know, this is your history. Right? So you got to read it as if, you kind of got to see it as a picture, right? You kind of got to be visual. You can't see it as words on paper. You got to see it as a screenplay. You know, you got movies that the screenplay has to be written, like the Avengers, right? They have to write the play and the script first.
That's right.
The scriptures is nothing but a script for a movie, right? You see what I'm saying? That's why it said you in a play. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Oh, confusing. Right, so I'm going to show you something. This is a list of curses that runs through our family line, right? Me and you, we connect to this, right? Keep going.
To observe and do all his commandments.
So the Lord God, right? We all have a father, right? A spiritual father, right? He created the 12 tribes of Israel. He created the world. And he chose us out of all nations to be his children.
That's right.
To be his chosen people. That's how we know deep down we kings. Right? You got the gold chain on. You know, you didn't just wear gold for no reason. No, right? We see gold, the brother got the gold chain on, right? The brother's wearing gold, man. It's no secret that we love gold, right? And that's a spiritual thing because our forefathers was kings on earth.
That's right.
We're to take back our righteousness, right? You see how people we low down in the streets with no place to live, no place to call home, no place to rest their head. We the hardest workers in the world,
That's right.
We on the bottom.
That's right.
You expect the hardest worker in the world, he making billions and millions like Bill Gates. Bill Gates sits down on it, right? But we the man on the bottom. We in the factories doing this and that. We making we are the production, right? So without us, there would be no America. Without us, there would be no stock and market, right? Without us, there would be none of this and that because we are that. We made that. You see what I'm saying? So jump to 52.
verse 54.
Bring it up.
So these are curses that we went through as a nation of people. Why? Because we didn't keep the commandments of God. You see what I'm saying? If you told your son to do something, you expect him to do it, right? You don't expect him to be, wait 50 years to do it, right? You want him to do it right then and right there.
Verse 54, right? So that the man that is tender among you,
right,
and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Right, you gotta think, this is us. So you gotta think, okay, this is the Bible, but you also have to think present day. You have to think as if, okay, I'm seeing this right now. I saw this yesterday. I saw this morning. Right? You can't think, okay, well that happened all those years ago, and it don't matter because this is relevant. You ever heard the term, there's nothing new under the sun? Yeah. That came out the Bible. That literally says that in the Bible. There is nothing new under the sun. Right? So keep going. So like, read that again.
So that the man that is tender among you,
right,
and very delicate,
right. So the man that is tender among you, we used to be very delicate toward him, right. We used to hit each other on the street, like, brother, what you need? Hey, just let me know. You don't see too many brothers doing that. Your brother walk past you, they got the evil eye, right? They looking you up and down. Oh yeah. They call it G-check. They trying to G-check. Oh, why? Exactly. Why is that? Why is that only our people doing that? But if two white men come together and they playing golf the next weekend, right? But when we come together, we look at each other and we kind of want nothing to do with each other.
That's right.
Why are we the only nation? You gotta ask yourself. Why are we the only nation of people that are like this? That damn hate each other when we don't even know each other, right?
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Right. This is a curse. Our eyes are going to be evil toward our brother. You gotta think. We're the only nation of people that go through this, right? Right?
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And if you look it up, we're the leading statistic in domestic violence. Right? A man goes home, he can be all jolly in front of everybody as he was, but when he goes home, his wife got a black eye. His wife is wearing sunglasses too. Right? These things actually happen. I've seen these things happen. Right? His wife is being beat. His wife is being domestically abused. That's a curse that only our people face.
That's right.
Right?
And toward the remnant of his children,
and towards the rest of his children,
which he shall lead.
Which he is known to lead. We're known to not have fathers in the house. Like I said, he is fortunate enough for you to be there. Right? But some of us aren't so fortunate. Right? And that's a curse that's written in the Bible that was going to happen to you. Right? And we are the Israelites.
That's right, that's
right. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that you see on this sign, right? These things pertain to us. These things pertain to the Israelites. Why? Because we failed to do that on both sides of commandments. Right? Does that make sense? Give me Deuteronomy 7.
Deuteronomy Chapter 7 and verse 6.
Look it up.
For thou art a holy people.
In other words, you know what holy means? You kind of saw the Bible. It says holy on it. You kind of opened it. You don't know what it means? No. The word holy just means set.
That's right.
Apart, right? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's all it means. So let's say you got. Well, okay, it means set apart. Okay, that's what it means. Right? I can't think of an example right now. Yeah, exactly. Let's say you got an aquarium, right? And you got goldfish, you got koi fish, you got trouts, you got minnows in your big aquarium, right? Now, let's say you're very fond of koi fish, right? They nice, they black, white, and gold, but you don't really like the goldfish or the other fish too much. You might put those koi fish in their very own pond because you love them so much. You see what I'm saying? Right? Or your son. I'm sure you prefer your son over somebody else's kids, right? If your son got in trouble at school, and he said, no, it was me and my friends that did it. It wasn't just me, because you know how kids are. Yeah. Right? He said it wasn't just me. Who are you going to, kind of judge for that? Your son or your son's friends?
Oh my judge for what happened?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna be judged.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Yeah. Who are you gonna take up?
Take up?
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Right? Why? Because you severed him from his friends. Because
that's right.
He said, "This is my son. He's separate from him." I didn't raise these kids, right? I raised my son, right? He's separate. He's holy. That's all what holy means, right? So when we have the word holy Bible, that means set apart or separate collection of records. This is nothing but, like I said, a family record. See what I'm saying? Right?
For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right, so it says we are holy, meaning we're what? We're cut off. We're set apart from everybody else. See what I'm saying? Unto the Lord. It didn't say we were set apart to Buddha. It didn't say we were set apart unto the cross. It didn't say we were set apart unto our cell phone. It said we were set apart from the Most High God.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? We're different. Our hair, his hair is growing upwards. Right? Not everybody's hair goes upwards. right? Right? He's beautifully melanated. I'm melanated, right? Not everybody has those characteristics, right? The Lord, He has a chosen people, right? These things benefit us. When we go into the sun, like, we get more beautiful, right? And that's health, right? When we come into contact with the sun, that's health.
That's right.
Right? Done. Keep going on that, King.
It reads, the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
Hey, King, you a special person.
That's
You
right.
and your family.
right.
You're a king and that's a princess, and y'all gotta raise y'all's children in the same manner.
That's right.
As kings. You a princess too, sister. We come out here to tell our people that we are the Israelites,
right.
God's chosen people. And we have to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments in the Bible, right? So we're not Christians, right? We differ from Christians because they teach a doctrine that's contrary to the laws, right? The Lord, He told us to keep all His law, statutes, and commandments, right? But in the church, we don't learn the law, statutes, and commandments. So how can we be on the Lord's, for lack of better terms, good side if we don't do what He says? How can we expect to avoid if we don't do what the Lord told us to do in the beginning?
That's right.
Does that make sense? Listening, King? Exactly. So how can we, expect to do good when we don't know how to do good? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna show you what's good, right?
Above all people.
Give me Deuteronomy 6 and 25.
Deuteronomy 6 and verse 25.
Bring it out.
And it shall be our righteousness.
It shall be our what?
And it shall be our
Righteousness.
Right? It shall be our righteousness. You know what righteousness is?
Good question.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna define it for you. Thus saith the Bible, right? Right, sisters? This is the definition of righteousness. What God wants you to be. All right?
Right.
If we observe to do all these commandments.
Right, the Lord said it's going to be our righteousness if we observe, meaning to study and to do these commandments.
That's right.
Right? We can't be righteous and wicked at the same time. Right? When we're wicked, when we're wicked, the Lord, He's a God of either you in or you out. Right? He's a God of either you hot or you cold.
Right.
He doesn't really deal with in between. You can't be 1 foot in and then 1 foot out. You can't be halfway righteous, but then you made a wicked mistake, but you kind of still righteous. You know what I'm saying? You either righteous or you wicked, right? So the Lord, He's saying it shall be our righteousness if we what?
If we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as He hath commanded us.
As the Lord commanded us, right? So if anybody else give you a commandment, are you going to do it? Why? Because the Lord didn't tell you to do it, right?
That's right.
It says, as He commanded us. It didn't say, as the other nations commanded us, as the so-called white man commanded us, as the Asian man commanded us. And I'm not saying this to, kind of out anybody, but I'm saying this is the truth, right? Because why? The Lord said we are severed. We are different. Go to Leviticus 20 and 26.
Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26.
Look it up.
And ye shall be holy unto me.
Now we already established what holy was, is to be what? Set apart, to be different. You different, brother. You're not like the white man, right? You don't possess the characteristics of the damn Arab. Excuse me for my language, but you don't possess those same characteristics, right? You mightier than that man, right?
Right.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
It says for who?
For I, the Lord, am holy.
It says for I, the Lord, am holy. So He's saying you got to be like me.
That's right.
Right? That's like you telling your son, hey, you don't want your son to be like another man. You don't want to raise your son up. Now let's say your son is 18 years old and your son don't look up to you. Right? You want your son to raise up the same fashion that you wanted to raise up.
That's right.
You don't want another man raising up your son. Right? The Lord is the same way. He doesn't want another God to raise us up, to believe in another God, and now we following the other God's ways. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Give me Hosea 1 and 10. Why? Because we are the sons of the Most High God. And if we're the sons of Him, then we got to act like His sons, and we have to be like Him. You see what I'm saying?
Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
Yet the number of the children of Israel.
Who are you? Yeah, who are you? According to the Son. You said you what?
Right.
Right. And we call those the Israelites. Okay?
That's right.
So don't forget it. Say it for me. You are a... That's right. That's right. All right.
The children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea.
It says the children of Israel, meaning he's a child, and you're a child, and I'm a child. Now, I'm not telling you a child to disrespect you. I'm telling you a child because you are the son of the living God.
That's right.
Right?
Which cannot be measured nor numbered.
Right? You can't damn have a census on us, man. You can't count how many blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans there are in the world.
That's right.
You got these governments and politicians, and you gotta, register your name and get an ID card. Yeah, a census, so they could count how many people are in this area, and so they could get an estimate of how many blacks are in this area, so they could do their redlining to keep you out of their communities, and they know exactly where to build a gun store, a package store, a nail salon. Why? So we can stay distracted, so we can stay docile, so we don't care to learn our God. You see what I'm saying? So it's important to know who you are, so that way, hey, you're no longer a black man. You know, you're not the same color of your shirt.
That's right.
Right? You're not a gold man. You're not a purple man. Can I call you a purple man? So how come if I call you a black man, it wouldn't be the same? You see what I'm saying? Right? Like I say, you know how they call Asians yellow, right? So if I went in there and called an Asian person, if I want my damn, let's say I take my mom to the nail salon, and I tell her, hey, ask that yellow man right there to do your nails. You think that yellow man is going to be offended in what I say? Why? Because I called him yellow. I call him a color. I call him something that he's not native to. Right? So if I called you a black man, why are we... I'm not going to say you because you know who you are now. But if I call, let's say, a random man right here, if I call somebody a black man, how come he could take it so lightly? Like, yeah, I'm a Negro. I'm African American. That's what they told us, right? But why are we falling for this? Why? Give me Jeremiah 17:4. This isn't a Bible what would happen to us.
That's right.
This is another curse.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
Bring it out.
And thou, even thyself,
Even you, even me, even that brother behind you, right? Everybody, all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right?
right, shall discontinue from thine heritage.
Right? We're going to discontinue from our heritage. It didn't say they're going to discontinue from their heritage. Why? Because this, like I said, this is a set-apart book. This is the Holy Bible. It didn't say this is the inclusion Bible. This is the Queen James version. This isn't the inclusive LGBT Bible.
Right.
We ain't touching that. Right? No, this is the Holy Bible. Meaning it's for you. Right? Meaning it's for me and it's not for them. You see what I'm saying?
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
Hold on, it didn't say I will cause you to be servants and work for your friends.
Talk about it.
It says I will cause you to serve your enemies.
That's right.
So we have to realize, like I said, these distractions make us so docile to the point where we don't even think we have enemies anymore. Right. But then we go into the hood and look at our brother the wrong way and now we get shot. Right. That's the enemy, isn't it? But we got the wrong enemy, right? That's what they taught us, to have the wrong enemy. I look at my brother, I'm supposed to see Christ, not an enemy.
That's right.
Not a threat, right?
And the land which thou knowest not.
Right? In a land which we never knew. Think about it. When let's take it back to Africa. I'm not gonna take it all the way back, but let's take it back to Africa. Yeah, just a little bit. We're gonna go back in time a little bit. Right? Let's say when we was on the West Coast, because that's where we came from. Right? When you look up the slave voyages, we came from over here. We wasn't all the way in damn South Africa. We were, but it wasn't, a multitude of us. We were scattered in West Africa, right? So read that slide one more time, King. That latter part.
It reads, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
Now, serve thine enemies, right?
In the land which thou knowest not.
So we were going to go from a land that we to a land that we never knew. Now you think that we're in the West Coast of Africa, we didn't have Google Earth, we didn't have Apple Maps or Waze, right? We didn't have resources to know where America was. We could have just had to enemies in the land that we never knew. You see what I'm saying? And now we're mixed amongst everybody.
That's right.
They call America the Great Melting. Because you have everybody here, you have every doctrine that you can ever imagine. You prevent somebody in the LGBT community, you're going to serve time. Right? And these are laws that they came up with to also keep us docile. Because now we know, okay, we can't do this and we're going to jail. Who do you think is filling up the prison system? They fill us up with fear, right? And with that fear, now we become good little boys.
Right.
And when we become good little boys, we sell out so easily. We'll do anything for money. We forgot who our God is. Is your God the Most High God that created heaven and earth, or is he one that created money? and see ones who serve idols, right? See what I'm saying? So all that to say, brother, we want you to repent, come back to who you are. This is your nationality.
That's right.
And I kind of want to hear you say it one last time. You are a
Israelite.
what?
That's right.
Israelite.
That's right.
Israelite.
That's right. Right. So you're a Hebrew Israelite, meaning you are the prince. That's what it means, the prince of the power. Right. You are the son of the living God.
That's right.
And you have to come back to the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments. So before we let you go, right, we got to give you some laws, right? All praise. The brother asked for it. Right? So I'm going to show you something. Right? You know the commandments, right? Yeah. Right? So we going to show you something. Actually, I didn't even realize that was your family. Right? So I'm going to show you something. Give me 1 Corinthians 11 in verse 3. So I'm going to show you something. You being up here, this is very spiritual because we talk to the men. Right? The Lord deals with a man on another level. Right? And the woman, they're the weaker vessel. So you being the stronger vessel, you have to teach your family, right? So there's an order to things. Bring it out, King.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3.
Bring it up.
But I will have you know,
The Lord said, I'm going to have you know today, right?
that the head of every man is Christ.
Right, so we have a head. It's like a hierarchy, right? It's a system too. I don't want to say system, but it's kind of like it's a hierarchy, right? So the head's a slide. Read that one more time.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of every man is Christ. So we know Christ, he died for us, so he's our head. Or in the Hebrew, us being Israelites who speak Hebrew, right, his name would be Yahushua in the native language. So if you see me, hear me refer to Yahushua, I'm talking about Jesus Christ, right? So Yahushua, he would naturally be our head. Why? Because he died for the nation's sake. He did something so selfless that he died so that we can repent whenever we go off, which you have the opportunity to do, right?
And the head of the woman is the man.
So you're the head of your wife, right? And of course the wife, they're the head of the children, right? But ultimately you're the head of your whole household.
That's right.
Right? So you, if anything, right, we urge you to learn this law, statutes, and commandments so that you can get your household in order the way the Most High told you to. As a separate and set apart person, as a holy man, right?
And the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. Right, so it's the Most High God, then it's Christ, which is Yahushua in the Hebrew, then it's the man, which is you, and then it's the wife or the woman, and then it's the children. Right. You see what I'm saying? So let's go back to it. I just wanted to make that clear. So now that you know, and you're the head of your household, there is no arguing, no back and forth, no this and that. Hey, it's all on you, man. So you gotta set your house in order right through the scriptures, all right? That he made the men to stand up as men and the women to sit as women. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same way when you pray and when you teach, right? So your head is uncovered, and we're going to read about the woman.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonors her head.
So, so when a woman, when she prays or when she teaches the scriptures to the children, right? Because a man teaches a woman, and a woman, they teach the children and the younger women, right? So when they, pray and do that, right, their head is supposed to be covered. You see how our women, their head are covered, right? Because they understand that that's a commandment, and we have to do it, or else we're going to be judged accordingly. And it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Lord. He's not called the king of terrorists for no reason, right? So I want to see you, make it out of this thing, right? On the righteous hand, on the throne. I want to see you on the throne, king. All right, so that's what this thing is about, right? Let's get you one more. Let's get you. I know you gotta go. Lord willing, we're gonna be out here for a minute. All right. Oh, but I gotta give you something. I gotta show you something real quick. I'm gonna get you a flyer. I'm gonna just bring out this one last thing.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Look it up.
Remember the Sabbath.
Hey brothers, so I got a question for you, right? What's today's date? All right, so that's falling on what weekday? Is it a weekday or is it a weekend? Right? It's Saturday, right? So the Lord, he gave us certain things to do on the weekend. Give me Sirach 33 and 7. Right? The Lord, he gave us a certain commandment to follow each and every weekend.
That's right.
The Lord told us to turn up in righteousness each and every weekend. And I'm going to show you something. Right? Not every nation has this commandment. Right? The laws were given to who? And we are, right?
That's
so
right.
I'm gonna show you something.
Sirach chapter 33 and verse 7.
Bring it up.
Why doth one day excel another, when as all the light of every day in the year is of the sun?
So the brother's asking, and I know it might seem kind of confusing, but when you read it and the way it's written, you're gonna understand. But he's asking, why, and this is the Apocrypha. This is a part of the Bible. It was just taken out by your enemy, right? You see what I'm saying? You can get it offline on Amazon. You can just search it up, look up Apocrypha, and they have it also on the phone. You can get it on the app. All right, it's called a 1611 KJV. Yeah, King James Version Apocrypha. All right, I'm gonna make it real fast. I know you gotta go. I'm gonna just show you something, right? So he's saying, why is one day better than another when the sun comes out each and every day, right? Keep going.
By the knowledge of the Lord, they were distinguished.
Right. The Lord, he distinguished these days. I'm gonna let the brother finish up. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, King. Actually, I don't want to be too long with it. Yeah, we go back to Exodus.
Exodus.
So, Salak, real quick, and you don't go back. But the Lord said, why is every day? You know how you got different seasons. You got 4 seasons. You got fall. That's you can tell fall from summer.
That's
you
right.
can tell spring from winter. So with the Lord, he altered seasons and feasts, but he also gave us a feast day each and every weekend to keep, which starts at Friday when the sun goes down and ends on Saturday when the sun goes down. Because think, everything starts in darkness, right? Let's say you plant a seed. Let's say you plant a tomato seed. Now, in the soil, is it light in there? And they just turn it up with party lights and LEDs? Nah, right? It's going to start in darkness and then it comes to the light. Right. Same thing with the day. The day starts when it's dark and then the sun comes out.
That's right.
Right? So, and then when the sun goes down, that starts another day. See what I'm saying? So let's read about that in Exodus.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
Remember the Sabbath day.
And the Sabbath day would be today, right? It started at Friday night, and then it's going to end tonight when the sun goes down. You see what I'm saying?
To keep it holy,
Right.
6 days shalt thou labor.
So the Lord says 6 days, right? You got 6 days. You can do whatever you need to do, right? You could work, right? You could cook. You could get your laundry done, right? You could rent a car. You could do everything you need to do in 6 days. But when the sun goes down Friday night, it's wraps, all right?
And do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Right.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
Right.
Thou, nor thy son,
Right.
nor thy daughter,
Right.
thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day.
That's right.
Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Right, so just how the Lord, he made the world in 6 days and rested on the 7th, and us being his children, we got to do the same thing, right?
That's right.
Right, exactly. And what's today? Today is the 7th day. So we telling you today's the Sabbath day. I know you got to go and make it quick. So today will be the Sabbath day. You got to rest, King. No buying, no selling, no cooking, no cleaning. You see what I'm saying? You're going to eat. Well, brother, we out here to give you some spiritual food. So definitely, all right, we'll definitely check out the flyer, King. And we be out here every Saturday, Lord willing, all right? Anytime you need us. I'll praise, I'll praise. Hey, brother. Hey, sister. Hey, brother. Hey, King, I got a question for you real quick.
One question.
1 minute, King. He said he what? You want to go? You gave him a flyer? All right, kind. Let's get the book of Esther, chapter 14 and verse 11.
Bring it up.
Additions to Esther.
Good.
Because we got to understand, our people are celebrating Easter.
Good.
It be so long when you stop celebrating these wicked days, man. You got to kind of keep up and realize that our people are still in sin.
Right.
Hey, brother, I got a question for you. You wait for a ride? You wait for a ride? You look like you're waiting for something. I'm waiting for you to come over here and learn who you are.
Right.
Just give me 1 minute. You in a rush? Can we get you a flyer? All right, all praise. You an Israelite, King. You God's chosen people.
That's right.
All right? Nobody's like you on this earth. All right? It's like Esther 14 and 11.
Esther, addition to Esther, chapter 14 and verse 11.
Bring it up.
O Lord, give not thy scepter unto them that be nothing,
Right? The Lord, hey, we said, hey, Lord, don't give the rulership to these heathens, man.
That's right.
Don't give the rulership to these people that don't even want to keep your laws, that take your laws down and call them wicked, right? That put up wickedness and call it righteous. They say it's a good thing for you to leave the LGBT community alone. They say it's a good thing for you when you just be a good little boy and accept that your brother got shot 3 states away, right? That's a war call. If I was to kill a white man, that would be a call to war for them. Right, but if they kill us, they could do it in the open, in plain sight. It's all over the World Wide Web, and it would be no problem.
Right.
We would protest for 1 day, and next thing you know, it's no problem. Hey, brother, I got a question for you, King. You got 1 minute, brother?
No, you got the hour, bro. I'm moving, bro. I know
You moving?
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, you an Israelite. Hey, I'll just 1 minute. It's gonna be real quick. All right, brother. Ain't nothing like, so we want to show you. We want to show you some more. We want to deepen your understanding, King. And you already turned around, brother. All you got to do is walk. All praises. Look. Hey, keep walking. I can't hear you.
I'm going to confront the situation.
What's the situation?
The situation is you saying I don't got no love for what you got.
I never said that.
And I kept moving. But I had, I ain't, that wasn't the time.
No, brother, you took my words out of context. I wanted you to be here for this. Can you stand here for 1 minute? I just want to show you something real quick.
And I love you. I love you.
I want to.
I love you.
All right, so I got one question. If you really love me, I'm gonna show you something. If you really love me, what is love?
You can't make an explanation of it if I say I love you. You can't go what's the difference.
But I'm reading directly out the Bible.
If you make an example off of it, then you make an example.
I don't want to make an example out of you. That's something our oppressors did to us.
That's right.
396 Alma.
All right, well, I'm gonna show you something. You see yourself on this sign right here? Yeah. Hold on. Do you see yourself, brother? Do you see yourself, brother?
Nah, I have no persuasion. You feel me? Everything that I do is on me. See? Okay.
Man's goals are the Lord.
Okay. Well, then that's all I'm saying, bro. I know what you're saying.
All right, so who are you then? What's your nationality?
That's a good question.
That's a good one, yeah.
And so what is it? Can you answer?
There's so much judgment wrong with that. The only thing that I am is naturally
Brother, you got a minute for the word of the Lord?
like God. And
From
I-
God, right? So you believe in God.
Yeah, but I don't believe in like people going against this and saying this wrong.
But we're not here to do that.
That's just like that right there. That's it.
All right, so do you believe this man is coming to save our people out of poverty? So let's show you that. All right, let's get Esther.
Esther, addition to Esther, chapter 14 and verse 11.
Bring it out.
Oh Lord, give not thy scepter unto them that be nothing, right? And let them not laugh at our fall, but turn their device upon themselves, right? And make him an example that have begun this against us.
Hey, the Lord said, hey, we're asking the Lord to make them an example to fall out into wickedness, man. It's just, I got a question for you.
One question.
What's your nationality?
Good question.
Senegal.
You said what?
West Africa, Senegal.
Hey, hey.
Or what?
You got 1 minute for me real quick?
Right.
That's all it takes, right? The Lord said black and beautiful, right? Where we get that from? All right, come on, I'll praise. So you see this poster right here? Of course, everybody knows what happened, right? You remember back in grade school how we learned about slavery for like 1 week, right? So how do you feel about slavery? The things that happened to the black, Hispanic, and Native American man.
I mean, I guess
We're still suffering from it, right? So if we're still suffering from it, you believe that there's a way to get out of it, out of our situation? All right, and that would be a good guess. You know why? Because there is a way. Through the scriptures, you believe in God? Or you believe in the Bible? More in the Quran. So I got a question. So when I say God, right, what are some things that you like understand or know? Because you know how people, you got some atheists, you might have agnostic where they don't kind of really understand. So what is like your understanding of like how we supposed to live according to God? Exactly.
Now, I guess
Exactly.
we have to determine.
Right. So we didn't just appear here, right? The sky wasn't just made out of my hands, right? So the God of the Bible, and I know you say you believe in the Quran, but I want to show you something special. Exactly, and they talk about who in the Bible. Now, Jesus Christ, right, a very prominent man. Everybody knows Jesus Christ. But you got to understand, Jesus Christ, he has a lineage. And us being the children of Israel, right, we come from that same lineage.
Right.
And that lineage is widely spoken about in the Bible. So that's what I want to get to show you. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. I'm going to show you something real quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Look it up.
For thou art a holy people.
So this is the Bible, right? The Holy Bible, right? So the word holy means set apart or different, right? And so what sets the Bible apart from any other religious books is that it has prophecies. And a prophecy, that's something that was told at one date, and then further down the line, it's going to be revealed. It's going to actually happen, right? So in the Bible, it tells you, it speaks about this chosen people, this one particular group of people, right? This one particular race of people, which are called the Israelites, and we scattered everywhere, right? That's why you say, you say you're from Senegal, right? When you say where you're from, right? It's apparent we're scattered everywhere. We're in China, right? The Lord scattered us everywhere. Why? Because we fell into certain curses.
That's right.
And these curses are prophecies that prove that the children of Israel are the blacks, or we would be labeled as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And we've been oppressed, right? When you fill out a job application or when you take a statewide school test, right? What do you put on there as your race?
Y'all brother got a man to everybody time.
Right, exactly. But how can we be African American if those are two different places? A whole ocean separates them. So how can we be both? You see what I'm saying? So the Lord, He divided the waters, right? So the Lord is telling us, look, y'all are not this and that. Y'all are not what this so-and-so told you. Y'all not what Jesse Jackson told you. Y'all not what any white man told y'all, right? Y'all are my children. Y'all are the children of Israel.
That's right.
Right, let's get the book of Deuteronomy. Oh, it's like you had 6.
Unto the Lord thy God,
Like, restart.
for thou art a holy people,
Right.
unto the Lord thy God.
The word holy means to be set apart.
That's right.
Different, right?
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So the Lord said we are chosen above all people.
That's right.
Now my brother right here, he put up a source, right, that's stating that you fit into this description. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to read this. This is Louisiana State University, right? Creole, New Orleans, right? It says on page 67, and this is scholarship, right? This is what we call scholarship, in-depth research, right? It says 16 slave trading ships arrived from the Senegal region. Now, how did your parents get here? Or how did you get here?
My parents helped me young, so they came here to study.
Okay.
But I understand what you mean, because it's
Right. So I'm gonna show you this. It says, I'm gonna read it again. It says 16 slave trading ships arrived from the Senegal region. 6 ships came from Judah and landed at the mouth of Mississippi. Right. So 6 ships came from the chosen land and landed at the mouth of Mississippi. How you go from one part of Africa to damn Mississippi? You see what I'm saying? You just want to go to Mississippi? No, it wasn't a cruise ship. Right. This is forced labor. Right? So let's read that in the curses. We go to the curses now. Give me verse 15. Now I'm going to show you something. Remember when I was talking about prophecy? How one thing was stated in a foretime and it was passed down to a later time? Come.
Senegal is actually the land of Judah. A lot of people don't know that.
See that? So we got a real Judite up here then. Right? So let's get it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Look it up.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
So the Lord is saying out the Bible, right? And it might be kind of hard to understand at first, but when you read it in the context as this is me, my people are in this book, right? This is nothing but your history at the end of the day. You know, you might call it a religious book. This has nothing to do with religion or schisms or anything like that. This is your history, right? All nations, they got a family album. You know, you kind of go up to the attic, you kind of blow the dust off the family album. You're looking at pictures of your great so-and-so. Right, this is our family album put into words. See what I'm saying?
And statutes which I command thee this day.
So the Lord God, the power that created heaven and earth, right, that created humans, me and you, right, he said that I'm going to give my chosen people, right, a people that I love, these 12 tribes, right, one nation consisted of 12 tribes, I'm going to give them certain sets that's going to set them apart from everybody else. They're not going to act like every other nation. They're not going to kill like every other nation. They're going to be righteous, and they're going to be holy, and I'm going to love them for that, right? Let's say, like a parent, right? They love their kids because they see certain things in their kids that they don't see in any other kids, right? You see what I'm saying?
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
All these curses are going to come upon the children of Israel and overtake us. Right? So is a curse a good or bad thing? It's a thing?
Yeah, because I was not seeing it that way.
Okay. So these curses, we're going to read them, and I'm going to let you decide if these are good or bad, all right? Because, some people, they might say a curse is a good thing, right? I never seen a good curse, but some people might say a curse is a good thing. Now, I'm going to show you these things that happen to your people, right? You got to tell me, are these good or bad things, all right?
Cursed shalt thou be in the city,
Right?
and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So cursed in the city when you have people, your own people getting shot down, people that look just like you, that act just like you, that do the same things that you do, right? These same people getting shot in the streets, right? Going to jail for no reason. I know a brother, he got pulled over for having them tree air fresheners. He got pulled over for that, right? And he had a gun pointed at him for that because the cop didn't like that he had an air freshener in his car, right? So these things that these people go through, no other nation is going to go through. The other nations, they don't get shot in the street and have a knee on their neck. You see what I'm saying? And then it says cursed in the field. When we was picking cotton, sugar cane, tobacco, for who? It wasn't for us, right? It was for lucre, it was for money. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't for our benefit, it was for the benefit of other nations.
Right.
And I'm not just talking about America, I'm not just talking about the white man, but I'm talking about everybody outside of this chart, right? Everybody who's not from Senegal, from the land of Judah, right? I'm talking about these people, right? These are God's chosen people. You see what I'm saying? And we've been through certain things, right, which you could say is what, a good or bad thing. That was a bad thing for sure, right? And that just wasn't the only one. There's plenty more. Let's get another one.
Right? And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword.
God said we're going to become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword. That's a name. People are going to name call us. They're going to call us niggers. They're going to call us pigs, porch monkeys, right? Damn field slaves, house niggers, right? What's another one? B-words, hoes, thoughts, Moors, right? We're going to be called these types of things, right? Black, ADOs, African descendants of slaves, right? We're going to be called these things. Why? Because we didn't keep the commandments of God. And he's saying, I'm going to show you, right? Y'all made a covenant that y'all was going to, and a covenant is a deal, right? Y'all made a deal that y'all weren't going to break my commandments and y'all did it anyway. So now I have to do my fatherly duties, right? This is the Most High God talking. He's saying I have to do my fatherly duties and make sure that y'all don't do this again by punishing them. This is all just a punishment, right? We're not in these conditions because God hates us or we're any less because we're on top. The Lord said that I will make you above all nations. Who has talent like us? Who can dress like us? Who can season their food like us? Come on, right? Who can dance like us? Nobody can do these things. They can't make beats, right? And we bob our head on beat, and then you got every other nation. They kind of offbeat. They don't know how to dance. They don't know how to move. They don't know how to conduct themselves.
Right.
But the Lord made it so that we were better for a reason. It's obvious, right? And I'm not saying, this to make you feel a certain way, but it should invoke your spirit to understand you are better and you are a chosen person. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Among all nations, where the Lord shall lead thee.
The Lord said, hey, I'm going to do this in front of all the nations. I'm going to allow all the nations to call you a nigger and get away with it. You see what I'm saying?
Verse 47.
Look it up.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God.
And so far, is this sounding good? Are these promising things that you want to go through? You don't want to be called a nigger. You don't want to be called a monkey. You don't want to be picking tobacco and sugar cane and things that could kill you, right?
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Because we didn't serve the Lord with joyfulness, he did that.
And with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
The Lord is saying we're going to serve our enemies. Right? When you wake up, where do you work, if you don't mind me asking? All right, you're a student. And you're going to school for mechanical engineering to work for who?
Good
You see
question.
what I'm saying? So we go to school, they teach us this from a young age, right? K-12, right? We get out of high school, we graduated, we go off to college. We do about 4 years, then the next set of years come, we graduate, we finally get a job after all those years of paying tuition and cars, student loans and this and that, to getting a job where we still can't provide and own our own business and work for ourselves. And if we do own our own business, we have to pay taxes to people who don't look like us.
That's right.
To people who aren't us. See what I'm saying? So we do all things in reverence to people who are not us, to others. Now read that one more time. I'm going to put it in the context this time.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies,
You're going to serve somebody who's not you,
which the Lord shall send against thee.
that God sent against you. And I'm not just speaking on you, I'm speaking as us as a nation, right? We all do this. We all go to school, and I'm not, trying to bring you down to a lower level, but we have to understand, our people have to understand we go through these things for a reason. You see what I'm saying?
In hunger,
Right.
and in thirst.
Right, when you hungry, you went to Starbucks. I can see it, right? It's obvious, right? You went to Starbucks, so you was thirsty, right? Or you was hungry, you might have ate something, but you drank something, right? Who owns Starbucks? Do we have a share in Starbucks? We don't, right? Now these are things that we would have to go to our enemies for to get a coffee that they overcharge us for. You see what I'm saying?
It reads, therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
And when it says serve your enemies, meaning you paying money to, right? You paying taxes to, you paying money to, you giving tribute to, right?
In hunger,
Right.
and in thirst,
Right.
and in nakedness.
And in nakedness, the clothes you got, right? I'm not gonna ask where you got it from, because who knows? Who cares? But let's say this hoodie, right? This is a Nike hoodie, right? Now my people, we have nothing to do when it comes to the corporate office in Nike. Now we might have jobs in the corporate office, but at the end of the day, we're still paying to who? People who don't look like us. Wait, no, the black man does not own Nike. This isn't a black-owned business, or I'm gonna say Israelite-owned business, right? This isn't a Judite-owned business. This isn't a Zebulonite-owned business, right? These things aren't owned by us, and we can't own these things. Why? Because the system was made for us that way. Why? Because the Lord said, "I'm gonna do this. Y'all aren't gonna be free." In lack of better terms, y'all not gonna have financial stability because what? Y'all broke the commandments. You see what I'm saying?
And in one of all things,
And in one of all things, if you want to get a house, who do you have to go to?
Bring it
You want a
out.
car, who do you have to go to?
Bring it out.
You want a degree, right? There's nothing wrong with going to school, but then now you have to learn somebody else's doctrine, right? You got to go study nights and nights on stuff that you're probably never going to use, right? I learned that in high school, right? I never used the Pythagorean theorem, right? I don't, right? But now you're going to have to go and follow a doctrine that you're never going to need, right? Why? Because the white man, he wants you to keep paying money to him. Right? And I'm not just going to say the white man, because it's not just the white man, right? It's every nation outside of our own people. Because we know, right, black-owned businesses, that's the thing. We know if we were to own these types of institutions, it wouldn't be founded the way that they have it. You see what I'm saying?
and in one of all things, right? And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And this is literal. This is literal, and, this is spiritual. You see this right here? Now, if you look up a yoke of iron, this is what it is. And if this man moves any particular way that his slave master or oppressor didn't want him to move, he would die. His neck would snap, right? So when it says a yoke of iron, meaning he basically got us on a leash. We do whatever he says, right? Like when you got a dog on a leash, let's say you train the puppy, right? When you train the puppy, right, you might be out there for hours trying to get the puppy to understand, right? You're conditioning the puppy. We're the same way. We've been conditioned with a leash on our neck, right? We have to have so-and-so, and we have to have good credit to get a house, right? And in order to get good credit, what do you need to do? Right? You have to serve the so-called white man. You have to, go to a job and then pay that money back. And you got to fill out your taxes and this and that. They do certain things to condition us in order for us to serve him. You see what I'm saying? Because we know better. We're not going to go out and serve other people that don't look like us before we serve our own.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Until he have destroyed them.
It says until he have destroyed this. Now if you look around, you have men in dresses. Now be honest with me. If you came up here and be completely honest, right? This is I'm not gonna say no judge zone, but we go off the we cut them. Right? So if you were to approach us and I was wearing a pink Cinderella dress, would you take me seriously? Probably not. And you can be honest, right? That's what we up here, we all about that. Right? You could be honest. You might not take me, you might kind of turn your head, be like, what is going on? And then you kind of keep walking with your Starbucks in your hand, right? But you see us up here, right, rehearsing the righteous acts, right? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. The Most High set it up that way.
And the Deuteronomy.
And I say all that to say is because we have been destroyed. We've had many brothers that come up here in dresses not knowing how to act.
That's right.
The Lord has destroyed us mentally and physically, right? To the point where we've completely strayed away from who we were. That's why when I asked you what's your nationality, you said Senegal, when really you're an Israelite, right? You were a sister. right? You are an Israelite more than likely from the tribe of Judah, the same tribe that Christ came from, right? See what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Right, right. And we out here to show love to our people, right? You got sisters right there, right? Those sisters, they're not like the sisters in the world. You know, hey, look at that poster right there. You see this right here? What is this sister doing? She got a gun in her hand. She's squatting. She revealing herself. You got sisters like this. Then this is a sister, just like a man. So the sisters, you know, the sisters that the Bible speak of are nothing like the women in this world. They're disgraceful, right? But the Lord, He's trying to bring us up and out of the ways of this world.
That's right.
Because if we were of this world, we would destroy ourselves.
God.
You see what I'm saying? So when we actually learn the things in our history and the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave us, we come back to righteousness. The Lord said we are royal. Give me Romans 9 and 4. The Lord said we're literally kings and princesses. You see what I'm saying?
Romans chapter 9 and verse 4.
Look it up. And it reads, who are Israelites?
Right, and we understand you're an Israelite, right? You know what tribe you come from. More than likely, I can't make it definite because I don't know where your father, you know, this and that. But more than likely, from the region you say you come from, you would be from the tribe of Judah, right? Which same tribe Christ came from, not this man. Because that man, yeah, you already know where this is going. Yeah, but you know, same tribe that the man who died for our people to repent came from. You see what I'm saying?
To whom pertaineth the adoption?
Right, we have the adoption. Right, the Lord said, hey, you might go out, but you're able to come back because I love you. Right?
In the glory, in the covenants.
Right, you got the new covenant. You got the kingdom of heaven. That's the new covenant. Right, the Lord said, I'm gonna make you a kingdom. Right, the Lord said, I'm gonna give you a place to call home. I'm gonna give you a place to rest your head. See what I'm saying? A place where you can live without worrying to pay bills. A place where you can stay without worrying to pay that car note or those student loans you owe. Right, my sister owns thousands of dollars in student loans. Right. We're not going to have to worry about that once we start keeping His commandments. See what I'm saying?
In the giving of the law.
And the Lord gave us the law. He gave us the law so that we can learn wisdom, so that we can learn knowledge and understanding. Right? That's how you get understanding is when you apply the law.
That's right.
Right? So we're going to go over some laws. Let's get Exodus. Right? Because I know you said you were in the Quran. Right? And I don't want to take up too much time, so we kind of go get through this. All right? We can get 20 in.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Bring it up.
Remember the Sabbath day.
Right, so today would be the Sabbath. How many days are in a week? All right, so what's at the beginning of the week? What day is that? Sunday, right? You said Monday or Sunday?
Depends.
Depends. Okay. So if we look, because you got to think, not every place, it would be Sunday. Let's just make it quick. It'll be Sunday, all right? So when you look on your calendar, the first day of the week is Sunday, right? And there's 7 days in a week, right? God made the world in 6 days. He rested on the seventh, right? So you being a child of God, right, you have to follow the same things and walk in the same way that God walked in.
That's right.
So let's get it.
6 days shalt thou labor.
Right? 6 days, you can do all your work. You know, you can do all your homework, your schoolwork, this and that. You probably got a side hustle and this and that, DoorDash, whatever, right? In 6 days, right? But what?
And do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
Right? The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, because that's when God rested. So in like fashion, that's when we rest. See what I'm saying? And so the seventh day, like I was telling another brother, everything starts in darkness. Right? Let's say you ever planted something before? Like you ever got some soil, put a seed in there? So is it dark in that soil or is it light?
No, they be on.
It's dark, right? So when that seed finally sprouts out the soil, it comes to the light, right? So all things start in darkness and they come to light, right? So it's the same way with days. Give me Genesis 1 and 5.
Bring it up.
They start at dark. According to the Bible, a day starts at sundown and it ends the next day at sundown. It's like they start in the dark, right? They come to the light, and then when the sun goes down, it starts another day.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
And God called the light day,
Right.
and the darkness He called night,
Right.
and the evening and morning were the first day.
So it didn't say the morning to the evening for the first day. It said evening to the morning were the first day. See what I'm saying? So Your day starts, let's go back to Exodus 28, right? Your day starts from sundown and it ends the next day at sundown.
That's right.
So it's a full 24-hour cycle. It's just from when the sun goes down to the next day when the sun goes down.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 9.
It's going to bring out the point.
6 days shalt thou labor.
So we kind of stepped on the fact that, the 7 days starts at Sunday. You got 6 days from Sunday to Friday, right? But when the sun goes down, right?
And do all thy work. But the seventh day.
It starts the 7th day, sundown at Friday.
Is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
In that day, the Lord literally gave us a day to chill because He knows how hard things can get for us. If we're you got to think, we exert a lot of energy, being a chosen people and all, right? Being able to know how to do everything the greatest, that's going to take a lot of energy, right? We build better. We built America, right? The Lord, He gave us a 7th day to just chill, to just rest from all your labor, anything that you got going on. Hey, try to get it before Friday sundown. Does that make sense? I don't want to
I would like.
We got contact information if you want some too. Definitely got the information on there. If you ever want to come build out with us. So what? Con. We got. Con. Okay. I give you my phone number so we can build for sure. And then also, if you want to, you got sisters over there who can also build with you. Because, sisters, your sisters, right? So, definitely just put your number there. Because definitely, you got to understand, right? If we're royalty, how come we're at the bottom, right? So you being a princess, you have to go back to your roots, right? My name is Yakar. It means it's Hebrew. Us being Hebrew Israelites, we go back to our roots, as the Bible says, and our holy language will be Hebrew.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So you going back to your roots, right? You would be a what? You are a. That's all right. You are an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Right? You're an Israelite from.
The tribe of Judah.
You are a.
Israelite from the tribe.
You are a.
Israelite from the tribe of Judah.
God! Right? All praises. You are an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. All praises. Right? All praises. The sheep coming out. Right? All praises. Let's get back to it. How much time I got left, King? Y'all can walk through. I got a question for you. Brother. Yeah, for you. What's your nationality? Like, where does your father come from?
Romania?
Romania.
Yeah.
Now, where is that at?
Europe.
It's in Europe.
Yeah.
So, do you believe in God?
I do.
You believe in the Bible? So, I'm going to show you something. Let's get Genesis 25 and 25. You ever read the story of Moses and you know about Joseph and Jacob and the 12 sons? So, I'm going to show you something. Right? I'm going to show you what came before all that. Right?
Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25.
Right, I'm gonna show you y'all's roots, because you say you come from Romania, right? But I'm gonna show you where you were before that, all right? Make it real plain and easy.
And the first came out red all over, like an hairy dormant.
So you had a woman, right? Let's say, no, I'm not gonna say that. Let's say you have a woman, right? Now she was pregnant with twins. This is the story of how it all went down, right? She was pregnant and she had twins. Now one of the twins, they came out red all over. Now another twin, he came out kind of melanated. You know how babies come out, they kind of not all the way there in the melanation, right? But he was a little light skinned. So if a baby comes out red all over, who do you think that looked like? Me or you? So you think I came out red? Oh, yeah. You came out red, right? Your forefathers came out red, right? And my forefathers, they came out a little more melanated, right?
And they called his name Esau.
Right? And they called his name Esau. Right? So your forefathers would be called Esau. And this is education right here. Now, you're not going to learn this in school. I didn't learn this in school. Right? I had to kind of be informed through actually reading and applying the scriptures. See what I'm saying? So your forefathers, they were called Esau or Edom or Edomites, like as a whole. Right? My forefathers, they was called what? Right? They was called Israelites or Jacob. Right? At first his name was Jacob, then it was changed to Israel. Right? So my forefathers are Israelites, and your forefathers are Edomites. Does this make sense? All right, praise. Let's keep going.
Now, verse 26.
Look it up.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
So our hand, the hand of my forefathers took hold on the heel of your forefathers. That's like if I was to grab your ankle like this, and we were coming out the womb, right?
And it reads, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Right.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them, and the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter.
Now, your forefathers, we can agree your forefathers are cunning hunters, right? Let's say in the country, right, we know how it go. Hey, y'all like to hunt, right? Y'all go out and hunt deer, this and that, right? Y'all are cunning hunters, right? But my people, hey, we like to dwell in tents. We like to, kind of stay in the house and turn up.
A man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
Right? So y'all would be Edomites and I would be an Israelite, right? Now let's get 2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. I'm going to show you something.
2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 54.
Because you got to understand history. Do you like history? You like history in school? You good at history? It's all right. So you got to understand, right? It's a beginning. It's a timeline. It's like a beginning. I showed you the beginning, and now I'm going to show you the end. All right?
And after these, Adam also, whom thou hast made, who not made is Lord of all thy creatures.
So you know the story of Adam and Eve, right?
Of him come we all,
We all came from Adam.
and the people also, whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake.
The Lord said he made the world for Israel's sake, right?
As for the other people,
Right. As for the others, as for every other nation, right, that you see on this chart right here, outside of Israel, right,
which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing.
the Lord has said every other nation, and this is the Bible. This isn't just me. I didn't just kind of say, well, I want to go out on Saturday and tell people that God hates them. But this is from the Bible. Right. Read that one more time.
As for the other people,
It says, as for the other people that also come of Adam that aren't Israelites, right? Y'all listening? Y'all got to hear this, right? This is history, right?
which also come of Adam,
Also come of Adam.
thou hast said that they are nothing.
So the Lord said that everybody else that comes from Adam is nobody, is nothing. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
But be like unto spittle.
Be like unto spittle. Like if I were to spit, do you think I care about that spit that landed on the ground? But the Lord said that that's what happens to everybody outside of the nation of Israel. You see what I'm saying?
It has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
So if I'm boiling a pot of rice, you think I'm going to care for the water that leaks out of the pot? No, right? The Lord said it's the same way with the people who don't come from the nation of Israel. Right? So I just wanted to let y'all know. Give me Revelation chapter 13.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9.
Now I'm gonna leave y'all off with this, right? We all know how they teach us about slavery and this and that. Y'all celebrating prom or something? All right, so I'm gonna leave y'all off with this, right? Y'all know how the Lord told us about slavery and we learned this in school and this and that or whatever. So with this being said, somebody has to pay for these crimes, correct? Right? The Lord is very forgiving, but he's not very forgiving to everybody, right? So somebody has to pay for this, right? So let's get it.
That's how they feel about it.
Oh,
How they feel about what happened.
how do you feel about what happened?
I mean, I feel like it's wrong, but it wasn't me doing it.
Right, it wasn't you doing it, but it was very wrong, right?
14, 21.
Yeah, our brothers already know, right? So, of course, we can feel bad and this and that, but at the same time, somebody has to pay for it. Because you believe in, what goes around comes around and karma and this and that. Yeah, okay.
Isaiah, you want this one? Or Revelation? Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21.
And this is the Bible. This isn't me, right?
Prepare slaughter.
It says prepare what?
Prepare slaughter.
Slaughter means to kill, murder, right? Brother said cutthroat.
For his children,
Right.
for the iniquity of their father.
Now you said it wasn't you, but maybe your forefathers did it. Maybe.
I don't think so, because like I said, I'm from Romania.
Right. But you got to think. This is why I asked, do you like history? Because who was leading during that time?
What was that?
Who was leading during that time? Who was your forefathers? I'm gonna say it like this, right? You say your forefathers are from Romania, right? Where is that at? Right, and in Europe, who was slaves in Europe? There weren't. It's secular history. That's why I asked, do you like history? There were slaves everywhere. And what happened in Europe, they came to the Americas, right? Right. So the same thing happened to Christ. Christ was crucified, right? By the Romans. Right? So your forefathers did kill. Right? In Christ, he was an Israelite. Right? He came from the tribe of Judah. Right?
Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter.
for his children.
So it says for his children. Now you say you might not have done it, and I can 100% agree on that. You didn't do anything, right? But the thing is, you are a benefit from it. Because think about it. If I were to take you, and I were to take me, who was more likely, and I'm not saying you, but as a nation, who is more likely to benefit from generational wealth, right? Who is more likely to suffer from redlining? See what I'm saying? You understand? Right?
The fact that my parents came here, though, and they were the first generation to live here.
And that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But it says every but remember what I read to you, every nation outside of Adam. Well, I'm gonna keep showing.
For the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Hey, and with that they had to go.
Right.
They knew what it was building up to. They got hot, man. Right, let's get Revelation.
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man hath an ear, let him hear. Right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
That's the whole point about it. Keep going.
That's right.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
You heard that, Mr. Leather Jacket?
Right.
80s movie Leather Jacket, man. Right? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
That's right.
You have to die.
That's right.
Your forefathers caused this. So now you have no one to blame but your forefathers. Right? Just like how my forefathers went off, I can't blame them because they're not here. Right? I can't say nothing against them because they're not here.
Right.
Now that yours aren't here, you got to pay and suffer.
That's
and that's
right.
how it is. And with that, I'm going to close out. Right? Brother, you call. I'll pray this Shabbat Shalom. Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.
Kwame Yasharallah.